Okay, we're going to work on some mount escapes, and the first we're going to work on is called a bridge and roll. Now the mount is a very threatening position like we talked about, and if you're the one who is underneath the mount, you need to get out of there pretty quickly. We're going to work on some of the different ways on how you can do that. Okay? So you found yourself in mount. Your opponent's mounted. We need to attack his table. If you're thinking him as a table, we need to take out one side of the legs. Alright? Now there's a couple ways to do that. We're going to work on some ways to bring our opponent down to us so that we can start attacking him. But one of the obvious ways is to bring our feet in close to our butt, and we'll show this from multiple angles, and to push up with our hips. That forces him down. Now when he does this, I like to swim over and grab my opponent's arm. When I do this, when you're practicing this, make sure your opponent turns this hand up underneath you. Okay? That's very important, and you'll see why in just a second. If you don't do that, you could hurt your opponent's wrist. But make sure your training partner does that. All right? So you've got good base, and we've bumped you. We've got you down. We've swum over, grabbed this arm. We're going to hug this. Okay? I'm going to step this foot over the outside foot. And again, we're going to show this from a couple of angles, but I step over and trap it. This other leg comes out, and that's what I'm going to use to push up with. This hand, my free hand, I like to put it on his sternum or just under his armpit. When I do that, I'm going to push with that arm. I'm just going to push it straight up toward the ceiling. I'm going to push with my leg. I'm just going to make a bridge, and I'm going to roll over into my opponent's guard. Make sure that he turns his hand. So when we're here, I just push up, and I go over my shoulder. Okay? I'm not going directly beside me, and I'm not going directly over my head. I'm going to go over my shoulder. Okay? One more time. We're here. I bump my opponent down. Here. I swim over his arm and hook it. I like to reach over, grab, I push up, bridge, and roll over my shoulder into my opponent's guard. Okay? Other side. We're here. I bridge, swim over, hug that arm. I trap this foot. This one comes out to base. This is what I push my opponent over with. Push up over my shoulder, over into the guard. From a different angle. When we're here, I'm going to be rolling toward the camera. So when I'm here, I like to bridge, get my opponent down. I swim over, hook the arm. When I do that, I'm stepping out with this foot over his leg. Notice that I'm not stepping out here, because if I do that, he's just going to throw his leg out when we try to bridge, and he's going to stop the roll. I'm going to go up here. This has now attacked this side of the table. There's nothing for him to base out with. This arm, underneath his armpit, this foot is what I bridge with. I'm not going straight over. I'm going over and at an angle. I bridge and roll. Bridge and roll. Over into my opponent's guard. Same angle, going the other way. I bump my opponent. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can bridge. You can just throw one knee and get him down. However you need to do it, that's fine. Just get him down on your level so that you can attack this arm. You swim over it. You're grabbing your opponent's back. You're hugging this arm. That way he can't step out. Trap the foot. This foot comes out. This hand goes into his armpit or on his chest, however you want to do it. I'm going to bridge and roll over my shoulder at an angle. Here. Over into my opponent's guard. That's your bridge and roll escape. Alright? One last angle. We're here. I get my opponent down. Swim over this arm. I like to pin it to his body. Step over and trap this foot. This one's going to be the bridge. This hand going to come under, and that's what pushes him. I'm going to go over my shoulder, all right? All in one motion, bridge, and roll. Over into my opponent's guard. Going the other way. We're here. I bump my opponent. Swim the arm. Trap the leg. This hand and this foot are what make the bridge and roll. I bridge over my shoulder. Into my opponent's guard. That's your bridge and roll escape from the mount position.